Hey guys, Troll 9002, I'm back. Happy National Singles Awareness Day. Or happy Valentine's Day to all you people who got people. I ain't got people, I got myself and the dog, who isn't even sleeping with me tonight. Anyway, so let's catch up to where we were. So, the bottle that James had thrown into the river ended up on 2 different beaches, and on this last beach it was found, right? Okay, so, the man who found it was named Peter. Peter happens to be the town jeweler in a small settler's town in Rhode Island, which is where my grandmother was born. Peter was her 3 times great-grandfather. It means great-great-great-grandfather. He proposed to his wife with the ring, and they were married their whole lives, which only lasted about 4 years after they wed. A terrible fire broke out in the middle of the night, and not only took the house, but it took Peter and his wife Emma, but not before Peter ran in to save their child, who was only 5 years old at the time. Screaming in the street in horror and alone, Agnes was taken in by a neighbor family whose house was spared. Days later, as Agnes was digging through what was left of the place where her home once stood, she found her mother's ring. It was much too big for her to wear. After all, she was only 5 years old, so she put it on a necklace and wore it that way. Agnes lived her life well into her 30s before she even bothered with men, but her slender body and long legs, she had heard all the pickup lines she ever needed to hear in her whole life. It was terrible. Agnes had standards. It wasn't until her 45th birthday that she found her the right man to fit the requirements, and, with the ring around her neck, she asked him when he was ready to marry her to use that ring. After being the loving man he was, Adam complied, and later that year he asked her hand in marriage. Soon after they were married is when the Spanish flu hit the U.S., and the ring kept its curse, and Agnes and Adam both caught Spanish flu, and together they fought, and the sicker they got, the more love they put into each other, and they fought and won their health back from the Spanish flu, but still, in the end, the ring won. And after beating the Spanish flu, the after effects would take Agnes's life, leaving Adam alone and in despair, just like it left James. I know you wished you hadn't tuned in by now, so I'll fast forward to now, when it was passed down to me. My mom had given me the ring because my sister didn't want it, remember, and while I was at work I lost it folding clothes, and a customer by the name of Ray found it, but held on to the ring because it was so precious and he was afraid to turn it into lost and found, because we all know how that works. Sometimes it's lost and, well, then it just goes missing, right? Right. So I put flyers out in local pawn shops with a picture of the ring and my face and a description and contact info. And it was kind of like a lost and found poster for a pet, except for it was for a ring. I know, that is something I would do, though, because I'm crazy. I had no hope that it would turn up, but little did I know what was coming next. If you know me, you know I hate going out without a purpose. If I'm going out, I want to do something. I want to know what I'm doing before I leave the house so I can ponder and let my mind figure out the answers to situations that will never happen. And I'm an avid overthinker. Plus, on the bright side, I must plan a wardrobe. It's gotta happen. If there's a theme, I gotta know what it is. I need to plan my wardrobe. So, my friend Sherry, who works at the store with me, talked me into a night out with her people, as I really don't have my own people who are willing to go out on school nights, and we never have the same days off, but we went to Gainesville for a show of great feats and heights, better known as the Cirque Italia. It was at this show that I would be reunited with my ring, and the start of something. I don't know what, but it was something. As we watched the show, we were in awe and amazed and clapped with great cheer and glee, but it was the intermission when Ray came out to talk and explained how the show worked, and how they practiced hard, and why you couldn't use flash photography, and really, if you see this show, you can't. Ray was the helper to the hair suspension artist. I happen to think that assistants are a moral imperative to any show. I had made eye contact with him more than once, just listening and trying to learn as much as I could. I love to be educated about things I know nothing about, and when he looked my way, he jumped back like I scared him or something. I have that effect on people sometimes. I mean, I did have war paint on, makeup, and I was in my World Explorer corset top with the long sleeves, so at least there was that. I felt kind of sad and weird about it, so I went to get some comfort food to quell the anxiety fire from within. Funnel cake and some sugary concoction from the drink side of the concession stand, then on to the merchandise. I bought a light-up balloon so my party could see my thought bubble, i.e. the balloon. Feeling better, I went back to my seat just in time to get settled for the show to begin. I turned off my balloon and the flashing lights, and we all watched the second half of the show, which was just as amazing as the first part, and when it was over, we sat to let the crowds disperse, and while we weren't in a rush, anyway, we wanted to see the stage come back down in one piece. As we were waiting, Ray came running out from the back, and he stopped right in front of me just as I started to stand up. And he asked me my name, and I thought he was asking for my phone number, and I was flattered and promptly gave it to him. I was the only single girl in the group, as usual. And then it happened. He went in his pocket, and his hand emerged. I saw my ring. I get attached to things and people. It's weird, but it's a family heirloom that I had lost. I thought I'd never see it, but I started tearing up, and my eyes lit up in the same time in excitement, and I quickly thrusted my head down to hide the tears. It was then I felt his hand on the side of my face, gently lifting my head back up so I could look at his face, and it took all I had to make the tears go away. My raccoon eyes from the war paint. I didn't care, I just didn't know what to do. But eventually I let him lift my head up, and without words he smiled at me and handed me the ring back. I can tell you it didn't matter how much concealer I had on my face. I turned 51 shades of red, blushing like I do. And the way I think, especially now that I'm kind of grown, you guys know me. I see things for what they are. So the situation I saw was an amazingly honest man who took the time to take care of my ring, and out of luck made sure it got back to me. Thought I'm not 100% sure how he knew he'd see me at a show or any of the shows they were performing that week. But later I learned that the company was based out of Sarasota, Florida. So even though they only traveled in Florida. It was a long while before I had heard from Ray. But eventually I did hear from him, and he told me how he found my ring. And the whole story was amazing, and this is why I'm telling you. As for the ring, I still wear it today, though more careful about whether it's still on my finger after folding piles of clothes like I do. And if it's still cursed, well, I wouldn't know, 'cause I've lived my whole life with the luck of, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. I really don't believe in luck. So, I had the ring cleaned about a week ago, and there was soot that came off of it from the fire that Agnes had endured, and I've lived my whole life with the ring, and still, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. I believe in the reason, and the life you get is what you give in life. Karma and God take care of the rest. So if you give out good vibes, you're going to get them back. If you put out bad vibes, you're not getting anything. I still get a text from Ray every now and then. We are the bestest of friends, and he sends me a heads up whenever they're going to be in town. And one ticket for the show just for me, and a lighted balloon in the place I am to sit. Like the replacement for flowers. I put the dates on the balloons so I can remember. And we almost always go out after the show for food and fun. We comfort each other when needed, when times are hard, and party when times are good. And the day we got married was the day I knew we had beaten the ring, because that is the one Ray put on my finger for our wedding. And here we are 57 years later, still married, and still going strong Though nowadays we are more cuddle bugs than party goers. He retired from the show, and we attend mostly bonfires with friends. Life has been good, and so just before my mom passed, she confirmed for me that the curse on the ring and the story my grandma had told me was true. But Mom also said she knew from the time I was born I was going to be the one to break the curse, and I did. I had the ring cleaned about a week ago, again. And while it was resting in the cleaner, there was still soot that came off of it from when my cousin Agnes found it in the fire ashes. That's 2 cleanings. That's a lot of soot. Shivers went through me and I turned. And just before I turned, Ray was hugging me from behind. My love, my reason, and my ring. The end. This is Troll 9002, the good troll, signing off for another story. I hope you enjoyed my story. I want you to know that most of this is fiction. Only certain parts are real. I know what's what, and if you know me, I'm sure you know what's what too. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next page turn. If you liked it, let me know. If you hated it, let me know. If you dare, please leave a comment, but please do one a day return to check on my other posts. Hope you have a wonderful Love Day, or if you're like me, National Singles Awareness Day. And oh, by the way, this is the ring based on my story. I just want to show it off again. And I will have the link to the Cirque Italia show in the description, as well as the link to Bone Daddy's page. If I mention your name in any of my stories, I'm going to have your link in the description because I'm bringing attention to your page and I think you should get, So I'll attach both links in the description, so y'all check them out. And thanks for watching. Have a great week. Troll 9002 out.